All right, we are live and we are here and please welcome. I'm Katie, and just to do a little bit of housekeeping before we get started, I am going to just say that we are recording this. It is live, but you will also be able to go back and you'll get a copy of the recording tomorrow in an email. So if you want to go back, you can watch it there. Additionally, I will be sharing a link to this book in the chat, and it will also be sent out tomorrow as well with that email. So don't worry about having to take a lot of notes or grab a lot of links necessarily. We're going to get all of that to you so that you will have it. I'm Katie Fielding. I am the educational content manager here at Book Creator. I just started this summer. I was previously an educator of 20 years as a science teacher and then a tech coach, and most recently, my division STEM coach. But I'm really excited to be on the Book Creator team now and get to highlight some great educators like Heather, who we have with us today. Heather Esposito, can you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi. Hi, everybody. My name's Heather Esposito. I am the district technology coach from all 19 schools in the Cherry Hill School District. We are right outside of Philadelphia. I've been doing this for 4 years. Prior to that, I taught high school English for 20 years. So we are going into, I believe, our third year as a book creator district. So it's been really exciting. Our goal has always been to find meaningful ways to tie it to our curriculum. And we found it has been extremely engaging for students in all content areas and grades. So excited to share about video today. It's really been a highlight, something we're excited about.
Awesome. Thank you for that great intro for yourself, Heather.
Sure.
As I said, we'll be sharing a link to this and I'll put it in the chat in just a second. But you will see Heather's resources that she's going to be sharing in this book itself. So you'll be able to grab those there. I just want to say a lot of this is like, I'm sure you saw that Flip is going away. They were great partners with us and have been over the years. We really loved the ability to previously like embed Flipgrids in Book Creator, but sadly, they and many of our friends there are going away. And so we hope that this year that you might think of using Book Creator where you previously used Flip. And if you want to read about it, linked in the book is this great blog article that our director of marketing wrote about just how much we love Flip and how like their community can never be replaced, and how much we just admire what they did. So we don't want to take away from the great work they did. And just right before I give it over to Heather, because I'm going to, just where we're going today is we're going to do some how-tos, and Heather's going to talk a little bit about transitioning from Flip and then give you some of her great ideas. I'm then going to talk about this great new template we have for back to school night, and then some other templates we have in our graphic organizers tool that you might easily use to bring video response and reflection into your classroom. And if you've never used the camera in Book Creator before, all you have to do is click on that plus button and then select camera. And then you will have two choices. You can either take a picture or record with video. So it's really simple for students to get in there and start recording. So I'm going
Yeah.
to pass it over to Heather now
Okay. I'm
and
excited to
let her
share.
continue on. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just want to add to that, like, so I work with students in preschool all the way to 12th grade. And one of the great features of having that camera within Book Creators, they don't have to go anywhere else. It's so easy to find and so easy to use. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so from this page, as Katie mentioned, all of the links of what I'm going to be going over are here. But I want to start first. I'm going to actually go over to Flip. This was my friend Megan's page that I used in the video. So if you already read the blog post and saw my embedded video, it's the same one. It's about 2.5 minutes long. But you'll see you have until September 30th to download any content that you have. You might want to move over to Reimagine in Book Creator. So I'm not going to play the video, but just kind of point out how easy it is to kind of take the key content elements from your Flip archives. So if you have a downloaded, like a topic video that you can download, I did that quick and easily. Copy and pasting the title and the directions So you'll see that, and I'll show you the template and where I put that. And I know that a lot of our students often benefit from a sample video. So if you have any videos from previous years that you want to download to be able to use, that's what I go over in the video as well. So take some time, look through your archives, and capture the videos that you have and the directions. And then it literally takes like 2 minutes to copy and paste or upload some of those things that you've saved. So you have time to do that. And hopefully after I share this with you, you'll see how easy it is to reimagine it within Book Creator. So I'm going to go over, I made a flip, I call it a flip book. Let me go to page 1. So when you click on this link, you want to make sure you go to remix. When you remix it into your library, you're going to see all my little cute directions off on the side. And I did this to kind of guide you and, as you kind of customize it and make it your own. So if you remember on the flip page, I said you could copy and paste the directions. So you could put the directions right from your flip assignment right into this section. If you want to customize the topic, grade, and teacher, go ahead and do that. Feel free to make any other changes. After I exported or downloaded the videos, this is where you could put either your direction video, and you could direct students to do the same thing here. Again, you have the plus sign, you have the camera option, and then kids can record their video, super easy, and then just place it inside a box. So before we ended for summer vacation, I practiced this with a 4th grade class. They did their parting wisdom for next year's 4th grade, and they had a blast. It was so easy to build. They did it in like 30 minutes, and then they had this really awesome book where they were sharing their wisdom for next year's 4th grade class. So again, you can remix this, super easy again to take all the things that you want to save from Flip to put into that template book or one that you might make on your own.
I love that, Heather. People in the chat are loving it too. Thank you.
Yay.
And I love
Of
that you're going
course.
to be able to bust out those 4th grade tips like in a few weeks,
Yeah.
your new 4th graders.
Yeah.
So that's so fun.
I know. It's so exciting. So, I mean, if you're thinking about beginning of the year, like you're getting to know you activities or share what you did over the summer, some of those like low risk, but really engaging conversations, not only are you going to start hearing more student voices, but students are going to get to practice some of the tools that you might want to use later on. Okay, so I'm going to keep going because we all know, especially as you get to the higher grades in secondary, that some kids are camera shy. So what I did here is kind of to get you started so you could see that you have so many cool tools that you can use for students who might want to, add a mask or put an emoji over their face. So I have a combination here of shapes, which you can easily grab. So you have all of your like standard shapes. I also included from the more section, you have Giphy. So you can search for your stickers and kids will have a blast doing that. And you also have your animated emojis that you could add. So again, for camera shy students, no matter the age, no matter the content area, you do have those. And I had a little too much fun putting these off to the side here. But this is kind of like your little starter pack if you're not sure where to start. Highly
No, I
recommend.
love that you're giving kids a starter pack.
Yeah,
That's so
yeah,
fun. And it can give them just a little fun way to jazz up their video. That's a pretty easy way to do it. I love that.
yeah. I think I like the unicorn.
I think
I
I would
don't know.
have a dog next to me on
Yeah,
dog next to me
I
every
try.
time I'm recording.
I tried to have like a nice little representation. I probably
Yeah.
could have put like something with video games or sports in here.
But
Um,
the great thing is that they can continue to find things that
yeah,
haven't
yeah.
already
The
Yeah.
kids can customize it, and it could be
Yeah.
like related to the theme or the season.
Ooh.
You name it. Um, and so again, I've just added a bunch of pages. You can certainly duplicate pages if you need more. Change anything around. But this is just to kind of give you an idea of what you could do if you have the idea, I have these flip assignments. I don't want to have to start from scratch. I don't know what to do. Um, and again, I tested this with a group of students, so I know that it was really easy for students to do um, in fourth grade, but in any grade level, you could do that as well.
Yeah, I think
The
the template you've made it very clear how people can easily pull what they were doing in Flip into Book Creator. I don't see any questions in the chat, so I think you're
Oh,
good to
good.
go on.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So aside from a flip book that, kind of taking a flip assignment and putting into Book Creator, we also want to speak to the fact that there are so many other ways to incorporate video into, authentic assessments or projects that you might be doing. And so this past year, one of the most successful projects that I did with elementary teachers throughout our 12 elementary schools is to reimagine student-led conferences. So student-led conferences were previously done in Google slideshows that felt very much like teacher-driven, and teachers wanted students to feel like they were in a driver's seat. So I created, this was based off of a portfolio template I already found, but students were able to go in and then customize. And when their parents came in, I have a published book. This is where I am in my journey in fifth grade. And it was a really great way for students to reflect using all of the tools. They could draw, they could type, they could add images. A lot of kids took pictures of work and posted it. But one of the most exciting things was that students were able to capture their voice through video. And I kept saying to them, you're going to do this now in the middle of the year. How cool will it be when you go back at the end of the year to see yourself, to hear your voice? Um, so any of these places where it says like upload an image, take a photo or record a video, kids had an option. You can certainly change those. Yep, I am most proud of. Kids were adding videos and sharing their proudest moments. And again, it just took it to the next level for the students to share, and their parents were so excited, and the kids were, just really excited because it made them feel like this was real. It was like an authentic task. Um,
Mhm.
and the coolest thing now is if you go um, into the more section under graphic organizers, you have, I think it was 178 graphic organizer templates for
Yeah.
portfolios. So if you don't see a page that you like, it is there in that section. And then you can just, again, add that customization for where you might want to have students have the option to create videos. And then again, add the stickers or the emojis if you need to. But this was just, again, one of the most successful things in all 12 of our elementary schools to kind of reimagine that portfolio process.
Yeah, I love this because with our new portfolio feature, after a student makes this, like let's say they do this in third grade, they can move it to their book creator portfolio, and the
Right.
teacher, the next year's the fourth grade teacher will be able to see it. There wasn't an easy
Mm-hmm.
way for us to easily share books from year to year previously in Book Creator, but that new feature we have.
Right.
And on Tuesday, we have a whole webinar about it. So feel free to join me and another teacher, Christine Romero, to hear more about how that feature might streamline your portfolio process. But I love this. I loved student-led conferences when I was in the classroom. It really empowers students to really take ownership of their learning goals and understand through that whole metacognition piece where they are in their learning journey. It's so
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah. And do you want me to show real quick
Yeah,
under
please.
the portfolio? Yeah, I was right, 178. So again, when I first created this, I had used a portfolio template that existed and kind of customized it. But
Yeah.
look now, like,
Or
you have all of this all about me section. You can put a video. Um, my family, field trips, so many different ways. And again, it's that universal design for learning where
yes.
students can represent their learning in so many different ways, where it doesn't feel like I can't do it because you have these options to capture your thoughts in so many different modalities. So just really excited about that.
Yeah, we are too. So I'm glad that to hear that you are. All
Yeah,
right.
so I
Anything
think that
else?
was it.
All
I think
right.
that's all I had to share. Yeah. So if there's
Yeah.
questions, feel free to reach out. But all of those resources are that I just touched on. And again, I didn't play the video for the flip downloading and all of that, but it's about 2.5 minutes, and it's super, super easy.
Yeah, that book is, and the video are all in the book that I've shared in the chat. And I have just a couple more video ideas and features to share with you. One is our commenting and feedback tool. So if you've never used the commenting, you're going to find it down here in the right corner, the little bubble, talking bubble with a plus sign. And you can add comments right from this space. And what I love is that you can add video comments. So we know sometimes so much like things can be lost in translation when you're just using text. Or if we have our ELL students, sometimes it's more helpful to have it in an audio or video form. So you as a teacher can leave up to 2 minute uh, video responses to a student's work. And so that's so nice to have that, that UDL, the multiple means of representation option right here in the commenting. And additionally, you as teacher get to decide in your library settings if that commenting students can do commenting. So you could have student discussions in that commenting space with video as well. So I just wanted to highlight that feature. If you've never used it with your students before, that's another good one to know. We also made this for back to school, this back to school night template, which I'm very excited about. And so we have a little guide at the beginning of it for the school to use. But ideally, you make one copy of this book. We have it either set up, you could be an elementary school, or if you're secondary, it's by department. So you could decide what table of contents works best for you. And then there is a space for a message from school leadership, your principal, and then a template for a page that every teacher can fill out. So I know we used to do this at my school when I was a tech coach with Flip. But what I love about this is in addition to the video, the teacher can all on the same page put a link to their syllabus or their supply list. And then instead of this text right here in the top corner, the teacher could put any kind of information that the school as a collective decides is going to go on that page. Maybe we want to highlight something about our grading policy, or maybe we want to highlight something about our class newsletter. That could all be, in common. So every teacher has a page with the same amount of information. I know at the high school that I worked at, we would have parents that would have 3 kids at the high school. There's no way they could go see all of the teachers in our little nightly back to school bell schedule. So this way you can kind of meet those teachers, or maybe you were sick, or maybe you work evenings and you couldn't come to back to school night. This makes a nice little artifact for parents that goes beyond that one night of the year. So we would love to see some schools put this into use. I know if I was still a tech coach, I would be using this. I would be like, copy. We have a little place you can put your school logo there. So we think that this is a great way to just make your back to school night a more accessible experience for all of your student supporters. And then Heather already highlighted the graphic organizers. So if you didn't know where to find them, you can find them in the more area. So in that plus sign, look for more and then select add apps. If you don't have that turned on at all yet, you might need to turn that on. And she already highlighted the video templates that you can find there. So if you just search video, you can also find many of them in that portfolio section. But if you're looking for things that are specifically laid out for video, we have those. And I love this one for the beginning of the year, a little goal setting. They could even, and if I was doing this, I would even have them maybe come in here and get a little animated emoji and maybe shrink it down. And like they're going to set their goal here. And maybe as the year goes by, maybe they're moving their emoji up the mountain
Oh,
or
I
just
love that.
visual of, yeah, a visual of where they are in their goal process. Because setting a goal should be revisited frequently, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so like that nice little mountain can just be that visual, especially for our little learners. It can sometimes be hard to articulate where they are in their goal process, but they can visualize it with that mountain. they could
Yeah.
have their little video here of what their goal was and then where they are on their journey towards that goal. Then we also have some great SEL check-in video templates. So I like this one because it does have some emojis of different emotions. Again, sometimes little learners need help in articulating what those are. And so this is another template that is in those graphic organizer options. We also have more of like the grid option, if you will, of having a spaces for lots of student responses in one space. If you're really doing some collaborative work and you want students to hear what each other have to say. You know, goal setting may be a private video in their one book, whereas this may be in a collaborative book that everyone in the class can contribute and share with. So we have that available. And as Heather shared, the portfolio templates, you're going to find a lot more templates, even to come maybe in that area. So definitely a great place for you to go to get started with video. And here's that one you shared, actually.
Yeah.
Great
I love
minds were
that one.
thinking, we had thinking some
Yeah.
of the same ones. Some reflection. Now, this one you'll notice doesn't have a space for video, but that is personally what I love about Book Creator is that you can tell your students, you can respond with text on this, or you could respond with video, or you could respond with audio. Choose the response method that is best for you. And I
Mm,
think I'm a big UDL practitioner, and just that choice in response and that it's innately built in here, I think is really powerful. So really any of our templates are video templates that a teacher just has to, remind students sometimes you have the choice in how to respond.
yeah.
That's part of our job if we're implementing UDL in our classroom is to remind students of those options that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And here's another one. It's a little more for a secondary, but this is in our a really great Portrait of a Graduate book that we've had made with some really great educators, Joan. And if you're looking secondary to implement a Portrait of a Graduate, this is the book to go to, and we'll have that linked in the book as well. All right, so we would love it if you guys have any questions now. Oh, I do see some stuff in the chat. Let's go to the chat. Let's see. All right, can you add the link to the book again? Yes. All right, so there is some great ideas with the graphic organizers. Thanks, Madeline. Yeah, we have lots of options. And like I said, I think there may be maybe some more to come in the future.
Yeah.
So Holly's asking, as the year goes on, how do you add more template pages to a book that's already been created? That's a great question. So let me go ahead and show you. So I'm going to click up here in the left corner for page view, and I'm going to click on these three dots, and I'm just going to select insert. And so now I have a new page in that book. If I want to choose a graphic organizer, I can come in here and I can do the graphic organizer. Maybe say this one. Now, if I go back to this book, this page, maybe this is my template and I need every student to have this page now. So easy that I can click the three dots and copy to, and I can pick the library that all my students are in. Let's say this one, and I can pick all of their books. So I can pick
Yep.
every student at once and I can send this page to all of their books. It will be at the very end of their book, so they'll maybe need to move it to a specific place if you don't want it at the end of their book. But it's so easy to give every kid their own copy of a new page that you've added at any point in the school year. So I
Yeah,
hope
that's
that helps
great.
out. Yeah.
That's huge because that's something that as a tech coach, I've been asked, like, something like I want to add after something's already been assigned. How do I do that? So, I mean, the fact that you can push that out to all students at any point is great. One question I had gotten is, along the lines of, students feeling nervous about having their video added to like a class book. My solution, and some teachers have said this has worked really well, is you can have students each do their own page. And then as the teacher, when you go to view it to grade it with ease, you have the ability to combine books.
Yes.
into one big book. So, feel free to have students just do a one-page book with one video. And then for your
Yeah.
sanity, combine them later for you to view and, assess and give, the credit for students.
That's a great idea. Yeah. So if I'm um, unclick these, I don't want to join them. But if I'm in my library and I had every kid have their own book and I then wanted to join them into a collaborative, I would just select, pick the books, and then click on combine. And that
Mm-hmm.
will put everyone's book together so they can work independently, like you said, and then have a collaborative effort in the end. That's
Yeah.
really great idea. Let's see. Someone says, I don't see the link. Okay, let's try again. All right. I don't see any more questions. Are there any more questions from anyone? We're really so glad that you came and spent some time today. And Heather, we thank you so much for being
Oh,
here.
of course. Always excited to share.
On Tuesday, like I mentioned earlier, we do have another webinar all about um, portfolios. And Christine Romero will be here with us. I'll be hosting again. And we'd love for you to register. I put the registration form in the chat for that event. And like I said, the registration or this book will be emailed out to you as well as a recording from this session. Yeah, let me see. I have a question. Let's take a look at the question. And go ahead, you can talk. I can't hear you, but wait, I did.
Hi, I'm
Hi, yeah.
sorry.
No,
I
good.
had just signed up with Book Creator,
Yeah.
um, and I think I'm going to go online to find some previous videos on how to go through the process, but I wasn't sure how you go from, I guess, the page that says our libraries to the back to school night video template.
Okay. Yeah. So I shared this book in the chat. I'll share it again. Let me
Oh, so I
get
need to
that.
download that. Oh,
Yeah, you don't have to download the book. We'll just view it. And so let me
okay.
put in the chat. Let me,
Okay, thank you.
yeah. So if you open this book, oh, that is the form again. Wrong one. All right.
A
Copy the link.
portfolio. Okay, let me go back.
Book. There we go. All right. So that is the book. And
Okay.
so if you go to the page with the back to school night, this is a great question actually. And you click on that book,
Okay,
you'll scroll down and you'll see that you can remix this book. And that
okay.
will put a copy of that book into your very own library.
Oh, how
So,
neat. Okay,
yeah.
so I'm clicking on that, and then it says back to school night companion template.
Yeah.
I clicked on that. Did I say open a new window? Is that what I put now?
You can, if you prefer to open a new window, if that's easier for you, you can do that. And then when you see this pop-up box on the screen, you're going to select remix this book.
Remix this book. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get to choose which library you want to put it into. A
Okay.
lot of times teachers like to put it into my books first
Yep.
because
Okay.
that's kind of like your own little custom personal library that you can make changes until you put it into a student library. Or you can just push it right into the student library.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm said I have an error, but I don't know if I'm signed in right.
Okay. Maybe, yeah, make sure that you're signed in and that might be.
It's like I'm okay. Well, thank you very
Yeah,
much. I'm
of
going to go
course.
back and play
You'll
around with
find
that.
lots of goodies in the Discover section.
Okay,
So
just
yeah, that's where
yes,
a lot of
Oh,
discover.
templates are. Yeah,
yeah. So she just
right
said
up
the
there.
cover section. So when you go out to your main teacher dashboard, you're going to find Discover, and you'll find lots of templates there.
Oh,
It's
select
yeah,
okay, select my books, copy. Okay. All
yeah.
right. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks for
I don't
joining
know
us.
if you had any, I saw there was a teacher from Iraq that was showing like a bilingual book. And
Yeah.
so I'm also curious about how we can do this for our I work with multilingual learners and how I can kind of incorporate that. So I'm
Yeah, that's a great
nice.
question. We do have a whole webinar coming up just about that. So I hope you'll join us for that. But also you can, let me just, for example, I'll just show this one that
Okay.
the back to school book, right? I know that
Yes.
my school, we had lots of multilingual learners.
Yes.
So if I know that I'm going to have, let's say some let's get into this view. Parents that are going to be Arabic speakers, Spanish speakers, right? I can translate this whole book, so I could have every teacher make their page.
Wondering if you had translation
And
options.
then I can translate the whole book at once. And so that's really powerful for something like this. Yeah, go ahead.
How do you, I know maybe a very basic, how do you get the book to the parent? Is there like you email it to them? How do you do that?
Yeah, so here, once I have the book ready to be published, just like you would publish a paper book, I
Yeah.
can go up here to the play item and, let's see. Play. Oh, my window is not big enough. Here we go. Click the three dots and then select publish. And then I get to pick my publishing settings. So one of those would be like, can anyone find this or is this going to be private? And then the other thing would be, can they remix it? And remixing is like what you did to get your own copy. So do you want anyone to make a copy of this book? So you might want that to be off for something like a back to school night, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to publish it online and then I just get that link here. And so I could send that in an email that I'm doing like a follow-up to my back to school night. I could also have this QR code pasted around school, like every teacher
Oh,
could hand
nice.
it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they could share it like as they're going home.
As they're going home. We
Yeah.
could even send it home in like a welcome letter and
Yep,
parents.
exactly.
So link the back.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
No,
that's how we did it with the portfolio so that parents could have a copy of their students' portfolios, is that they each got that link shared with them. So there's so many different times where you might want to share something with the greater community outside of your school.
Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate this.
No problem. I do see a question in the chat about like sending books to students for homework. And that would be through the assign feature. Yeah, you found it, Elise. So any book that is in your library and you want to make sure you have students in your library, that's easy to add students to your library with the invite code. So you can either put that up on the front of your classroom, or you could copy the invite code and put it in your learning management system. And once they click on that code, they're going to come right into your library. And you can then assign the book. And so you can just click assign book. The default is that everyone gets a copy of it. But if you don't want everyone to get a copy, maybe you just want specific students, you can just check their names and just, those students in the library will get the book. That's really good for group work. Maybe you give it to a certain 5 kids. They're going to be the group leader. They get a copy and then you turn on collaboration and their group mates can join that book. Or if it's just a student that needs a special book for support, they can get that book only, or the 5 kids that need that book could get it. So the assign feature is really customizable, and I love that. Then I see someone say, is it possible to publish as a hard copy book? No, everything here is digital books. So besides just publishing it online, you can download it as an ebook. So that's something that could be, read with an ebook reader. But no hard copy books. You could print it as off your computer if you wanted to. Yeah, the layout may be a bit different depending on which kind of book layout you choose when you do the printed option. Yeah, it could be just a little bit different. Yeah, we're really the digital way to share things. It's very eco-friendly, obviously, as well, keeping that in mind. And really, we want students to be able to share their books easily with people at home, and doing that publishing online is pretty straightforward. All right. Well, I think we are at time. Yeah. We are so glad that you guys joined us. Heather, do you have any closing words?
Oh, no, I just really hope that everyone has gotten a lot of really great ideas, some inspiration that you can take to use right now with your students as you're getting ready to start up this school year.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you were here with us. And thank you everyone who joined today. So
yes, thank
have a
you.
great back to school season, and we will see you at our next webinar, which is on Tuesday.